I'm thinking it's a good idea to once again go through the points of why I believe. What I believe is from 1 Corinthians 15:3 and 4, that Christ died for our sins according to the Scriptures, and that he was buried and rose again the third day according to the Scriptures. So let's take it by the numbers. 1. Jesus was real. He actually existed in history. 2. He was crucified by the Romans. Up to this point, there is agreement among scholars. Scholars on both sides of the issue will say, yes, that is true. But then the question is, was he raised from the dead? And his being raised from the dead is at the heart of Christianity. Without that, there is no Christianity. After he was crucified, his followers were cowering. Oh no, look what they did to our leader. If they're going to do this to our leader, they're going to do this to us too. Just think what's going to happen to us now. They were hiding away with the doors locked. But then they changed. They changed completely from hiding to boldly proclaiming that Jesus had risen. And literally thousands of people agreed with him. After Jesus sent the Spirit and people were wondering what was going on the day of Pentecost, Peter explained it to them, and 3,000 people became believers. Why weren't they critical? Why didn't they say, prove it? They knew. They had seen him alive, or they knew someone who had seen him alive. And these followers of Jesus, who were cowards before the resurrection, turned into bold proclaimers of what they had seen, to the point of going to their death rather than say, oops, I was wrong. Yeah, more than one person on here has said, oh, lots of people are martyred for their faith. This is different. We have the 9/11 thing, martyred for their faith. Yeah, that's what it was. There were the kamikaze pilots for Japan. I think were they monks who set themselves on fire way back in the day to make a point. But these people didn't die to make a point. These people died simply because they refused to give up the truth that they had witnessed. It was not an aggressive martyrdom. It was a submissive martyrdom. It was, you can do to me what you want. I can't not believe. And among those who were martyred for their faith was Paul, highly educated, formerly Saul, aggressively opposed to the church, on his way with papers to imprison other people who had accepted belief in Jesus. Jesus stopped him, and Paul turned around to be one of the great advocates and contributor to much of the New Testament. Another one was James, one of Jesus's brothers. If your brother comes up to you and says, hey, you know what? I'm God. Of course you don't believe him. But after the resurrection, James believed. James became the bishop of the church in Jerusalem, and James eventually was martyred for his faith. He died because he could not deny what he knew to be true.